This is what a quagmire looks like.
You know, the number one goal of an American president is to keep Americans safe.
We have a habit of getting into the Middle East and not a great track record of getting out of it.
Let's do this shit. So, another Abby Phillips amazing segment that we've got for you. Let's dive into it. Have some fun diving into it.
It feels like a never-ending, we're talking, the deal's close, but no deal ever really comes to pass.
Yeah.
Right. This is what a quagmire looks like. This is what happens when you have a president who has no clear frame of what he's doing, what the end goals are, what the strategy is to get there, what the Iranian red lines are, what his red lines are, and then is empowering a team of experts and officials who have the ability to do difficult negotiations in the middle of a war. None of that exists right now. And that is just a stunning amount of incompetence coming out of our foreign policy apparatus. And then to pile onto that by saying that he doesn't care and he's bored of the thing, I can't imagine a more dispiriting message to send to U.S. men and women in harm's way. Thousands.
I don't mean to interrupt him because he's on an amazing rant at the present moment, and he's telling the truth. Nothing that we are experiencing at this present moment had to happen. There is absolutely nothing that anybody is dealing with at this present moment that any of us had to deal with. Hands down. There was no imminent threat. There was nobody stopping us from our liberties. The only people that have stopped us from our liberties are the people that have promised that they would not stop us from our liberties. And that's that. I didn't mean to interrupt this individual. Like I said in the comments, tell me if you have nicknames for the different panels, the panelists on the panels. Let me know. And then also help me out with identifying these people. I'm wanting, because I enjoy political science. I enjoy this format. I'm wanting to actually get to know these people and understand these people. So if you can help me in the comments, identify these people, and then also give me a nickname that you would possibly want, this channel to refer them by.
Of American troops who are getting fired at. There is no ceasefire, by the way. There's a ground invasion in Lebanon. We've been firing at ships from all over the world. We fired on a ship from Gambia. What did the Gambians do to us? Does anybody know what our gripe is with Gambia? No, but they're getting fired on. And the Iranians have no intention of meeting Trump's demands. That's the quagmire. That's what we've been predicting. It was predictable and predicted, and Trump is now throwing his hands up. It's a disaster for America. It's a disaster for the world, and it's a calumny on our troops who are risking their lives for our country based on a war that was based on a lie with no clear endpoint, and it's a tragedy.
Why is Trump, Joe Borelli, saying that he's bored of the talks? I actually saw in Iran an analyst basically saying that's their whole strategy, that's their whole modus operandi. Just drag this out as long as possible, and whoever taps out first loses.
I don't mean to interrupt you, you beautiful queen, Abby Phillips, but this guy, this dude, Mr. Humpty Dumpty, I don't know what this individual's name is. Please, in the comments, let me know what you want this channel's nickname for this person to be. The way that this person is just these puppets, these puppets who are just getting paid lots of money to bend the knee. And it's a very interesting thing. I'm wanting to know the echelons of what this could potentially be. Like, I want to understand how much these people are getting paid to bend the knee to absurdity, because there's no way that a person who is living in the world, the America that everybody's living in the economy, could be like everything is good right now. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way.
Trump is already signaling that he might be willing to tap out first.
Well, look, I don't know. I mean, we had clear setbacks in the negotiations today. That's certainly the only conclusion we can gather from what statements from both sides are. But you have Brent crude down, I think, to $90 today. You have the stock market reaching a record high. So it seems like the world is adjusting to almost a new reality where the U.S. is blockading the Strait and letting in as few Iranian ships in and out as possible. And that pain is going to have to produce results. I mean, the president has to get results here. There's no question about it. He's got to get results. And Scott Bessent was on an interview today. Look, Bessent was on an interview today, and he said the mission hasn't changed. That we're going to seize the Iran nuclear-enriched material, and we're going to open the Strait of Hormuz. I think the only way to do that is like a fullback in football. You just got to go through it.
No,
I don't mean to interrupt the person that's about to do some logic, but like the Strait was was open before. Things were never let them try to change the narrative in your mind. We all remember the times before they started this war and the gas prices before they started this war. Don't let them confuse you about how things were.
The only way to do that is to negotiate a deal with the Iranians. That's the only way to end this thing. Or he can admit surrender and just leave.
What else can we do?
You got to negotiate a deal
other than
with the Iranians.
Continue the blockade, other than continue the threat of military action. What else can we do for leverage?
I think taking a step back, this is a very unpopular war to begin with. He didn't build a broad coalition. He didn't put the American opinion behind it as well. And the number one goal of an American president is to keep Americans safe. Yes. I don't think Americans feel any more.
Got to pause you there. Number one priority, keep Americans safe. Do you feel safer?
Safe after this engagement. In fact, America feels less safe economically, specifically, as they watch the price of gas go up, as they watch the price of health care go up, all these things that are the cornerstones of the affordability crisis. And if the Democratic Party continues to run those things, I think it'd be more successful in the midterms while President Trump is defending these actions overseas.
So, sidebar in all of this was this kind of back and forth with Israel. Trump said that
she is so beautiful. Good Lord. She's flawless. Good Lord. Abby Phillips.
This morning, he had a productive call with Netanyahu. There will be no troops going to Beirut because this is one of the reasons the Iranians called off talks this morning. Meanwhile, Netanyahu says if Hezbollah doesn't cease attacking to our cities, Israel will attack terror targets in Beirut. And he says the IDF will continue to operate as planned in southern Lebanon. That's the public-facing part of this. Apparently, in the private part of this, Axios reports that Trump said to Netanyahu, "You're fucking crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass. Everyone hates you now. Everyone hates Israel because of this." A second source briefed on the call says Trump was pissed and yelled at Netanyahu at one point, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I didn't know we could say that word.
I can say it. I can say it if the president says it.
We all giggled like schoolgirls.
It's on the news.
I can say it if the president says it.
That's
This is, I don't.
If the president says it, that's the world that we live in. Like, Abby just sounded as though she was on some HBO special, but ultimately she was quoting politicians. This is the world that we live in.
Well, I think it shows a lot of things, including some rifts in the relationship, but also Trump's deep frustration here that that he can't even really fully control
Lord.
Israel, and then Israel is
Who's
maybe
this
standing in
beautiful
the way of him getting what
woman?
he needs out of Iran.
Back to who's in the driver's seat, which is something that Democrats had brought up what feels like 6 months ago about this entire war, and the fact that it was Netanyahu's pushing and doing. And
Gonna pause it right there. I'm gonna figure out a way so that I can see everybody. Okay, Yemizi Imbiwolo. Yemizi Igbilowolo. She's a Democratic strategist. I am definitely not pronouncing her name correctly, unfortunately. Stunning. I don't want this page to be about me just like, you know, admiring super intelligent, bold, beautiful black women. I don't want this page to be about that, but if CNN is going to make that what the channel's going to be about, then I mean, it's not me.
Trump saying, no, I'm doing this of my own volition. And then he sent out Secretary Marco Rubio, who really is a good messenger for the Trump agenda. But then
Okay, she's probably so much younger than me. That's the thing that's going to shut this down. She's substantially younger than me, so
comparatively.
It's all relative,
Comparatively.
yeah.
But then, when push comes to shove, who really is in the driver's seat? And I do think that the president does underestimate Bibi Netanyahu. Look, he was here before Trump. He will be here after Trump. This is not his first tussle with an American president.
Yeah, I think it confirmed a lot of concerns that people on both sides have had. There were a lot of conservatives who were quite vocal, saying this was our worst case scenario. And look, I mean, I disagree with the Democratic analysis that we are worse off. I think we are safer, but I also think the president needs to message and needs to be very direct and clear, certainly to his base and the entire American people, about what the end game is here, because obviously a lot of people in America are concerned. We have a habit of getting into the Middle East and not a great track record of getting out of it with what we want to accomplish.
I mean, I would argue we're past messaging at this point.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
he just needs to get a deal.
But knowing the track record in the Middle East, you know, President Trump was still dog walked into this engagement, and here we sit with everything going up during this conflict, and with no.
I don't mean to interrupt. I just messed up with the thing. Hopefully I'll be able to edit it. Maybe I won't be able to edit it out, but we'll see. We'll see. And go.
Timeline, no idea of when
So,
and how.
yeah,
we're gonna
I
get out
have
of this?
two related questions. One, do you think Israel wants the United States to get a deal with Iran?
No.
And two, do you think Iran will ever give up its nuclear stuff and its right to have nuclear stuff?
It might give up the dust. It's not going to give up its right to produce more dust. And everybody knows.
As an elder millennial, I've always wondered. I've never gotten it. It's never made any sense to me. I have no idea. I have no understanding, and it just doesn't make any sense to me about how the world is policed. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
And that was the premise of U.S. diplomacy with Iran for 25 years. Trump doesn't just seem to care, which is one reason we don't have a deal. The other reason we don't have a deal, or one of them anyway, is that Iran is not going to declare an end to the war while Israel's still attacking Lebanon. It has to be part of the deal. And, of course, Bibi won't play ball because he doesn't want the war to end. And Trump is just waking up to that fact 3 months into the war, and he's not happy about it. And, you know, a lot of what
Trump has been well aware that Bibi did not want this war to end. That's just reality.
he's saying is that Bibi should do everything that he says, and now he's learning that that's not the way that the world works. So constantly over the past 3 months, Trump is confronted by reality, which totally contradicts the made-up story he has about the Iran war in his head. And guess what? In the end, reality is winning out. And that, again, that's why we're in the quagmire we're in, because Trump won't accept the reality. He only wants the world to bend to what's in his head. In this case, he's not getting what he wants, so he's throwing a tantrum.
And it's worth just noting that the reporting is that it was Netanyahu's briefing that pushed Trump into the war in the first place. Now Trump seems to be lashing out at Netanyahu for getting in the way of the war ending, potentially. That is quite a predicament that he's found himself in.
Thank you. That was an awesome segment. Still trying to figure out getting a rhythm to editing these videos so that I can get them out in a timely fashion. So if you like what you saw, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like and comment, and I'm going to definitely do my best to answer every single comment. I definitely love to rant, and until next time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with just ranting the blues.